Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis. We're doing something different today. We're going straight into ranked. It's not something I normally do. But we're beginning the 12 Days of Bloomburrow. You've heard of the 12 Days of Christmas? This is the 12 Days of Bloomburrow. We're going to look at all the tribal stuff. This overwhelmingly focuses on rabbits. And I feel like we're going to win. I just do. They have all these removal spells. It doesn't matter. Watch and see. Watch and see. Oh, we made them think already like they're blue. What are we going to discard? Let's discard this one and this one. And, oh, we can put down another Might Caller and put down another little rabbit. And this rabbit acts like this one. These are different expansions. But power and toughness are equal to the number of non-land permanents. Well, let me put it this way. This one is the number of non-land permanents. This one is number of creatures. They're mostly the same. And the reason why I always think I'm going to win is because of this card. Yeah, I think I'm going to attack with everybody. That's already lethal. They could chump block. Or they could block one and take out one. But two of these have trample. Okay, I think we go ahead and take out this one and this one. And we let their pirate stay. And they're down to 5. And do they have removal? I don't care. Laughing Jasper Flint. Might be a threat if he was going to hang around longer. But I don't think they're going to hang around longer. Perfect. All defenders gone. Can I do anything with this? Nothing came into play, right? So I'm just wasting my mana. It lets you tap it. It lets you use the energy. Look at that. Everything they got. Ooh, I'm keeping that. Attack with this. They're just going to chump block for 1, right? Yeah, they got rid of all the stuff they had trampled, which was smart on their part. And I can't even cast that. However, they have to chump block again. Land is not kind to them. Technically, we don't need to do this anymore. We could just bum rush them for everybody. And notice we still got kind of land starved a tiny bit. They ended up with 7. And we got frozen at 5 when we needed 1 more. It's all okay. And that's how easy it is with rabbits. So I stayed away from the Bloomburrow Tribal for a long time just because as soon as Bloomburrow came out, like, I'm a free-to-play player, so I don't have all the cards. But the day Bloomburrow came out, everybody was making all of the animal decks. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll skip that. Maybe I won't do any animal decks because they've already been done. They're kind of very obvious. They made it almost brain-dead easy to build these decks. But I thought I could still perform a service by pointing out a little bit of the power creep and how Wizards' plans are kind of backfiring them in terms of the game. But maybe I'm in the majority, or maybe I'm in the minority, I should say, because I'm one of those enfranchised players and I love to make decks. And according to the designers at Wizards, making decks is hard. And a lot of people have trouble doing it. And I'm exactly the opposite. That's one of the biggest things that I like to do. But let's go ahead and take a look at another card. Captain's Call. You create 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. This was used quite a bit back when soldier decks, soldier tribal was very common, very popular. You don't see many soldier decks these days, but you know, Dominaria Unite is still around. You can still make a good soldier deck. But it's a sorcery. It costs 4, 3 and a white. You compare it to Hop to It. Create 3 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens. It costs 1 less. It costs 2 generic mana and 1 white. So you can get the same 3 1/1 white creature tokens for 3 mana instead of 4. These two expansions are still in play. Dominaria Unite is still in play. It's still in the current rotation. You're never going to see this card. The only place you would ever see this card is specifically if somebody wanted to do a soldier deck. But even then, it would probably lose to a rabbit deck because of this. And part of the reason that this is outrageous, I want to say, is because of what it allows you to do, especially in a deck like this. So let me go through what I've got. It's mostly Bloomburrow, and it's mostly rabbits. But we do have 1 requisition rate, so I can destroy artifacts or enchantments that I don't like. Also, putting a +1/+1 counter on each creature can come in really handy if I've just made 3 rabbits. I've got Valley Mightcaller. This is a frog warrior, so it's not a rabbit, but it's from Bloomburrow. Whenever another rabbit you control enters, and this is the big thing that I have in the rest of the deck is rabbits, you can put a +1/+1 counter on Valley Mightcaller. So for only 1 mana, you can get a 1/1 that can become, you know, as soon as I play this card, this Hop to a card for only 3, this 1/1 becomes a 4/4. And that seems overpowered to me. We have Carrot Cake, artifact. Whenever it enters and you sacrifice it, create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token and scry 1. Then you can sacrifice the Carrot Cake later, which is sort of like eating food, and you just gain 3 life. But because when you sacrifice it, unlike the normal food tokens, you also, again, because you're sacrificing, you get to create another rabbit creature token and scry 1 again. Regal Bunnycorn. This is from Wilds of Eldraine. This came out before Bloomburrow, but I think because they work on sets ahead of time, and they knew they were going to be doing Bloomburrow. They knew they were going to be doing these animal type things. So they built in some support early on because they knew it was coming. So this is no accident. This rabbit's here for a reason. He's supposed to be used with these decks. Power and toughness are equal to the number of non-land permanents you control. So that works in case I have my Carrot Cake out. It's a non-land permanent. If you sacrifice it, it still counts to give it power and toughness. The Beauregard Mentor is from Bloomburrow. Very similar, not quite the same. It's a little bit less because it relies only on creatures for the power and toughness. But a lot of times these will be identical because you don't have Carrot Cake out, you just have the creatures. And those, so their power and toughness will be equal to each other. So that's 8 copies of something that as soon as I play this single card, Hop to It, that gives me 3 1/1s, this also becomes a 4/4, just like the Valley Mightcaller. So with this one card, I've got 12 other cards that go from 1/1 to 4/4 in the space of 1 spellcast. 1 copy of Druid of the Spade, Rabbit Druid, 2/3. As long as you control a token, Druid Spade gets +2 to power and has trample. 1 Hazard Root Herbalist for 3. Whenever you attack, it's a Rabbit Druid for 1/4. Target creature whenever you attack gets +1. If that creature is a token, it also gains Death Touch. One more interaction. This destroys not just artifacts and enchantments, but you could also use it to destroy a creature with flying, and then you also create a food token. You notice I don't have a lot of interaction with this. I just didn't bother. One Patchwork Banner. You choose Rabbit. Everything gets +1/+1, and it gives you a little mana, 1 mana of any color. 3 copies of Mondrak, Glory Dominus. This, I only have 3 because I had burned 3 Mythic Rare wild cards. I've been playing this game the entire time. They never gave me a Mondrak. And I've been beaten by Mondrak quite a bit. So I decided, you know what, if I'm going to make a Rabbit deck, and I'm going to have this card, create 3 1/1 creature tokens. And Mondrak, when you create tokens, you create twice that many. I'm going to get 6 Rabbit tokens instead of 3. So I just have to do it. Now, one of the reasons that this is sort of an overpowered card now compared to Captain's Call — 4 mana, and I don't have a 5th mana to protect him. He could die pretty easily, right? But let's say I go ahead and risk it and put him down for 4. The next turn, when I make these rabbits, I'm going to get 6 rabbits. It only costs 3. So let's say I got land starved, and I still only have 4 mana. I can make sure that that 4th mana is white. It doesn't even have to be white. It just has to be 1 generic mana, actually. I could take the Phyrexian mana, cost me 4 life, and sacrifice 2 of those rabbits, and make Mondrak indestructible. If I was paying 4 for the Captain's Call, and I was land starved, I wouldn't have that. Mondrak would still be vulnerable for another turn to removal if they had a removal card. Because this is 1 cheaper, in my battles, that worry is cut in half. Just because they changed the mana cost on 1 card within the environment, within the space of a couple of years. We have Rabbit Response, only 1 copy of it, instant. Creatures you control get +2/+1. If you control a rabbit, you scry 2. So a little bit of scry in the deck to help me out. Warren War Leader. This is a Mythic Rare card. It's a 4/4 rabbit for 4. If you have 2 extra, you can pay 6 and get 2 copies. So the original is 4/4, and the token you see pictured to the right, this is only a 1/1. But whenever you attack, you have an option. And if you pay the upstream cost, and you get both of these Rabbit Knights out, it's going to prompt you twice. So you could do both if you just chose 1 at a time. You could create a rabbit creature token that's tapped and attacking. That would automatically increase the power and strength of all of these other dozen cards. Or you could just give everybody +1/+1 until end of turn while they're attacking. You could do that twice, or you could create 2 rabbits, any combination. I try and be greedy and hold on to this until I can afford to pay the offspring cast. It doesn't always work out. When Treeguard Duel, a frog rabbit, you can see the duo there pictured. 3/4 when it enters a turn. Target creature you control gains vigilance and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. This is green-white. It's built to go wide. It's built to just have a ton of creatures on there. Maybe a couple of board wipes would hurt us. I've got 1 copy of Season of the Burrow. So I could create 5 rabbits, or I could exile a couple of target non-land permanents and still create a rabbit. The controller does get a target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from a graveyard and give it an indestructible counter. Head of the Homestead! Rabbit Citizen. When it enters, create 2 additional 1/1 white rabbit creature tokens. And then finally, something similar to Mondrak from another expansion from Ixalan. Ojurtak, Deepest Foundation, 6/6 with Vigilance. If 1 or more creature tokens would be created, 3 times that many are created instead. That's right, 3 times as many. Plus, he comes back. If I can attack with 3 creatures when it's a land, I can pay 3 and bring it back as a 6/6. So the special lands, I've got 1 Lupin Flower Village, so I could sacrifice it and look at the top 6 cards in my library, get a rabbit out of there. I've got 3 of the Oak Hollow Villages. This normally doesn't work out. I usually don't have the spare green mana to actually spend cost and use this to tap the land. But it's another way to get counters on your rabbits. Little bit of Surveil with the Lush Portico. Little land that can turn into a creature with Restless Prairie. And then we got 3 Tree City, which I named the rabbit. And for 2 mana, I can choose a color equals to the mana color equal to the number of creatures. So if I've got like 6 rabbits out, for 2 mana I can turn that from 2 into 6. And that can help me cast just about anything that I want and empty my hand. So that's the deal. we're going to go back in. You see I'm in standard ranked. I ignored ranked for a long time just because I ran out of time. I wasn't getting my 15 wins per day. And I just realized that I've been completely ignoring ranked. And I used to get, when the season restarted, I would start over in gold. And I've been ignoring it for so long, they started me over in bronze, at the very bottom of the ranks. So I did stop and look and remember and say, hey, if I do rank up a little, they do give you prizes, right? They do give you packs and stuff like that. So I thought I should not ignore that anymore. Let's get rid of rabbit response. And I think this is fine. I'm not going to put anything out. We've got tiny bones. They might have removal. This is be permanents, right? Am I discarding a card again? Yeah, I guess we get rid of the Regal Bunnicorn. Level 2 already, so it's a discard deck. They don't have enough spare mana to cast that. We wait for them to realize that. And now we just play the hop to it. And now we can stop Tiny Bones. Oh, phooey. They're going to get Odritak. And now they see all we have are lands, so they're probably feeling pretty nice. We don't have much that can take out the air support. Yeah, you don't want to trade with the 1/1 token, do you? Oh, I see what's going on. We were we won our first battle in ranked, so now we're just gonna flood out. Yeah, that's nice. Versus a discard deck, 7 lands and 4 spells. That's fair. And an on-curve Shieldred, of course. Of course, that's absolutely fair. That's not fair, that's ridiculous. I guess we put that down. We go ahead and attack. It's got vigilance. They just give it up with Tiny Bones, so they keep their Shieldred. And a mythic rare followed by a mythic rare, like they needed it. I guess we throw away our land. It's either throw away our land or throw away our land. Look at that, they're throwing away much more useful cards than we are. And now they're just going to be lazy. They're going to let Shieldred and their enchantment do all the work for them. We'll play this. Notice they automatically did the Oak Hollow Village. They shouldn't have done that. They should have done these others. So that's kind of a mistake. I guess I'll have to remember that. I'm going to have to manually tap all this stuff just to get the benefit from Oak Hollow Village. That would have let me make this a 5/5 with a counter, right? So I definitely need something besides a land.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
And again, they're throwing away something that's more valuable than what I had. And it's another land. How about that? Yeah, we're not long for this land. We're not long for this life. And they have removal. How nice. That's 8 lands.
Off you go.
I think we see what happens when we dare to win in ranked. We'll try it again. Yeah, we're not good against non-curved Shieldred, but that's because I didn't build any interaction into the deck. It's based on speed. Any one of these lands should let them know that we're going against them with Bloomburrow Tpull. Carrot cake it is. Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll continue to set up. If they're not going to spend mana on removal, they're going to take 2 points from the rabbit token. And flyers. Flyers could beat us. Let's start with, actually, if we do this... No, it doesn't matter because I need additional green for that. So, what if I do this? It worked! Sweet. Okay. They chump blocked the token! That was just mean. Let's put this puppy down. Give it a counter. That's all we're gonna do. They've got so many cards. So many cards in hand. Just another removal card. Must be nice. Ooh. This is kind of risky. But we can do this. Now they can get rid of Mondrak if they have removal. Especially... No, this wouldn't work. It has to be a creature of my choice. Okay, greatest mana. Okay, and they exile it. They've got a lot of removal, don't they? Is that all you are? Is a deck of removal and a couple angels? Let's try this. Yep. But we get them back as a land. Let's see if we can get their life back under 20. They are not missing a land drop, are they? Ooh, that's a good card. Bam. So it's an all flyer and removal deck. There's got to be some more life gain triggers in there somewhere. The nice thing is I can pay for 1 white mana using Patchwork. Each opponent loses 6, okay? And they're not attacking. Interesting. We're going to attack. You're tapped out. That's what I wanted. We'll keep all that. And now we can also bring back this creature. Tapped out again though, so they could remove Mondrak. They do not. They got lifelink. Okay. What do we want to do against that? That feels good. I probably should have put that down. Not quite enough. I guess we say we had fun? There wasn't much thinking that had to go into the deck construction here. I just hit type rabbits and chose a bunch of rabbits. Three Mondraks and an Immortal from another expansion, and you're good to go. You can still lose in Standard pretty easily ranked. Just either land starvation, or if they only insist on giving you one color when you have a two-color deck. You're kind of at the mercy of the shuffler, so that kind of randomness is sure to bite you on the butt. But we've learned to expect that every time that we win too many battles. We expect some kind of rubber band attack to snap back into place and make sure that we're put in our place. I keep stuff like this because I don't have a lot to do with artifacts and enchantments, so let's see. Founding the third path, lands, Lumra. They might try and get Lumra back. Oh, never mind. They're going to get anything they want back, right? Omniscience, Valgavoth. They'll use a Squirming Emergence to get that stuff back. I don't think I have any Graveyard Hate in here, so we could be dead. I need a green land. That's not a green land. Notice it gave them exactly anything that they wanted, right? Omniscience, Valgavoth, Atraxa. They choose the Omniscience. And all without even letting me have the more powerful spells. I need the green mana for that. They wouldn't give it to me. And they get another Atraxa in their hand, another Valgavoth in their hand, another Omniscience in their hand. Just everything they could possibly want. But Travis doesn't get green mana. No, that's too dangerous. Look, they've gone through half of their deck in these first 4 turns. I don't have any board wipes either, so we are going to leave this here. And now we ask Arena to give us green and white lands for our green and white deck. It feels strange that Arena has to pull out a deck filled almost entirely with mythic rare spells to deal with a rabbit deck of all things. Looks like a little aggro deck. So what else we got coming up? I don't think I can take more land. I'm flooding out now. With that, 7 lands and 3 spells? Yeah, our goose is cooked already. We can't scale up now after this. Wait for them to figure it out. This is legendary, and this is a problem because Wizards didn't used to make legendary creatures this cheap that were that useful, but they've since changed their design strategy. So we go ahead and try and get rid of the ones that are tougher, but they usually have a battle tactic here. No, they're just going to pummel us with the gnomes. And more land. Thank you, Arena. And that's with a scry. So 9 lands and 3 spells, and that's how I'm supposed to beat my opponent. Okay, there's just no way. Arena, there's a deck list that I have, a playlist that I have, for those of you that might have an interest. It's part of a series that says, this is why I don't play ranked. And this is why this happens to me. When I created this rabbit deck, I started in standard to play test it. And I got a little land starved every now and then, but I didn't get flooded out. But you'll notice, now that I'm in ranked, I've been extremely flooded out twice in less than 5 battles. I'm sure that's just a coincidence. Attack with the rabbits, attack with the rabbits. Hey, look, we're up against rabbits. Do you take 10 points or do you chump block something? They're going to take the 10 points. Fruity Pebbles gives up. Is this what ranked is these days? Either you're just absolutely overpowered on your side that you have to quit, or the other side feels overpowered so they just have to quit? It does make the battles go by fast. If you want to try and get your 15 wins and you want to do them quickly, it is no mere stereotype that you can do things quickly with rabbits. Okay, I like this. I like this hand. I've got a 1-drop, I've got a 2-drop, and I've got a 3-drop. Although this is tap land, so I technically can't get that one out. Let's get rid of our 3-drop, I guess. I need the white mana to get the Carrot Cake down. 3 Tree City is an excellent land. And I do need to get to 5 lands to cast Season of the Borrow. Okay. I might not get there against discard. There's so many cheap discard spells, it's pretty easy, especially if they're just going to flood me out with lands. Alright, let's try the Carrot Cake. Leading us to another Carrot Cake. I'm okay with that. We're going to be put on defensive here. Nope. We'll keep this land to throw away if we need to. Ooh, that's kind of a nice card. Let's see. I don't have the second white mana for that. Come on. That's too good to pass up, though. Let's go ahead and attack with this one. I'm hoping they don't have 2 removal spells at one time. I guess we're... No, you know what? Let's see, we've got that one coming up. Let's get rid of the Warren Leader. What are they looking at my graveyard for? Do they think they can get through and still cast something? Or are they going to scry because they need more help? They're going to scry because they need more help. It seems like they're running out of steam a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, we're going to take a gamble. We're going to gamble that they're not going to draw Shieldred next turn. We're just going to try and go wide. Five paw prints, 5 rabbits, and now we just act like mono red aggro and we turn them sideways and attack. You can stare at them, but they're all the same. Seriously. I've got more energy than I know what to do with. Yeah, let's attack. I don't think you can afford to attack me, can you? They destroy 1 rabbit. Go looking for help? They're attacking. Okay. That's 7 points of damage. What do you got? Okay, so they saved on 1 point. They go digging. Okay, we keep Mondrak. We needed more than 1 card in our hand. We didn't want to lose 2 life. Couldn't get there done. Couldn't get it done. Okay. So we lost against 1 discard, we won against another. And it looks like going wide was the right thing to do there. Which wasn't guaranteed. We'll do one more just because it's rabbits. It goes by fast. This kind of applies for all of the animal decks in Bloomburrow. So I just kind of want to point this out. There's a lot of content creators that may be making rabbit decks. They're probably going to be very similar to mine. They'll probably be more complex in terms of interaction. Like they might have a board wipe, they might have more individual removal, that kind of thing. I went really minimal on that. Just so what you can do in ranked without having a ton of removal. But the key is just how overpowering it is to have a 3-mana card that can bring down 3 1/1s as opposed to a 4-mana card. That's a change in the environment. It's not good for us, I don't think. And the thing is, they playtest this. You know they playtested the animals a lot against each other to try and find the right balance. And this is what they settled on. What else we got? Land. You know, I do need 5 for Head of the Homestead, so... Aera's Oathsworn is a good card. We just don't care. They chump block. They shouldn't because we have trample. So that was a mistake. Down to 7. They still lost their card. They would have saved a little bit more if they just blocked that, right? A 6/6. We're not gonna sacrifice anything against that. We are going to take our one card, the one card we have in our deck that destroys flyers, and we're going to get rid of it that way. Down to 1. Do they have a board wipe? I think they need a board wipe. Ta-da! So even if they'd had one more removal card, we still would have had lethal. Alright, you see I'm starting from the bottom. You can see what kind of introductory decks we're going up against in Standard Ranked, in case you were curious, in case you don't normally go into Ranked yourself. Let's go in. We'll show the deck off one more time. As I said, I didn't get creative with the name. I just called it the Rabbits deck. We've got this Frogwire is too good not to include just because they included this synergy, right, with the Rabbits. So this card I probably wouldn't have included if not for this card. This card, being so cheap, makes me want to include Valley Might Caller. Even though technically, not a rabbit, it's Frogwire. The Carrot Cake comes in really nice because of the Scry, because of the potential life gain you might need. Just the 1/1 right rabbit token when you have something like Mondrak or Odra Attack out, you get the extra tokens. So Carrot Cake turns out to be a really good card to fit in with all of this. I didn't feel the need for more than one Patchwork Banner, although you could. And again, you notice for removal, I had one Requisition Rate for artifacts and enchantments, and one Spider Food for artifacts and enchantments, and a creature with flying. So that was it. Technically, you could include Season of the Burrow because you could exile target permanents, but I'm really looking to do either the first one, create a bunch of rabbit tokens, or the third one, return something and make it indestructible so that they just can't handle it. So something like the Beauregard Mentor or Regal Bunnycorn having indestructible is pretty cool as far as this deck is concerned. And then even though Treeguard Duo didn't come up a lot, but every time it does, it seems to do really well. And in my playtesting, I was able to pay the offspring cost for War and War Leader, and being able to give all attacking creatures +1 twice in a row, or just pop off a whole bunch of extra rabbit creature tokens when you've already got Bunnicorns and Mentors on the field is really impressive. So, like I said, you heard it 12 Days of Christmas. We're going to do 12 Days of Bloomburrow. I'm just going to do nothing but Bloomburrow decks for the next couple of weeks. And I don't feel like I have to exert my imagination too much on this. Okay, Wizards of the Coast wanted to do animal tribal in this environment. It's like, like a redwood environment with these animated animals where they walk upright and they put on clothes. And there's a dozen different examples in pop culture. This is a very popular theme. And they expanded into it. It kind of overlaps with the fantasy aspect of Magic the Gathering quite a bit, I think. Everybody really seems to be enjoying it. The set's selling well. I find it a little bit boring in terms of deck creation because, I just didn't think. I thought of Mondrak and I thought of Odra Attack, and almost the rest is almost entirely Bloomburrow, unless you're like, oh, you're Wilds of Eldraine, but you have Rabbit in your name. It's really easy deck building. So I feel like they got a little bit lazy in terms of all the synergies that they added in to make this ultra deadly, especially in your first 4 rounds. That it's not too hard to get a 4-turn early round kill in this. But the thing is, they tried to balance all the creature decks so that it doesn't really matter what you do. If you're doing rabbits, you can do a 4-turn kill with rabbits. If you're going to do otters, you can do a 4-turn kill with otters. If you want to do bats are birds. You can do 4-turn kills with bats and birds. So they made it so that everything's just so synergistic with each other that this card comes down and this card makes it benefit and this card benefits from all the others and this card benefits from all the others, that it's almost like you're just playing a sliver deck, just in a slightly different way. But you know what? We're going to do it. And I'm just going to sort of use this as an exercise for classes in session to point out a little bit of the power creep that's been coming in with the sets, and exactly how easy it is. If you come home and you are tired and you don't want to exert the mental energy to create a new deck, Bloomburrow is a good set for you. Just pick an animal type, throw in all of that same animal, and you'll be guaranteed to have a deck that works well. That easy. All right. As always, we thank our sponsor. We thank our Patreon subject. Thank you for contributing to us. There is a Patreon link below if you'd like to consider contributing to the channel. We ask you to like and subscribe, and we ask what you think of the deck. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll have something different for you next time. But it's still going to be Bloomburrow, and it's still going to be animals, just so you know. Have a good one, everybody.